Now, the National Cathedral construction will continue despite Parliament rejecting the 80 million Ghana cedi budgetary allocation. Now, Parliament about a week ago disapproved the 80 million allocated for the project after the Finance Minister failed to account for the amount spent on it. Reverend Joyce Ayer, who is on the Board of Trustees, in an interview with JoyNews, disclosed that the said amount is only a fraction of the seed money needed for the construction.
I think we need to explain that what Parliament did not approve of was only part of the seed money that government said it would give year by year. Part of the seed money, not the money, entire money that is needed to construct and complete the edifice. Somebody was saying that the bill, I said, no, it's not a bill. It's not a bill that has been rejected. You know, people have said that there has not been transparency. But every year in the budget, there has been some seed money. Not taken, from what I understand, from the consolidated fund. But I hear there's something called consolidated vote, which means there's a vote that is given. I don't know how it's used, but so that was going to be the seed money. But it does not mean that the project cannot go on. Because I know you are going to bring your 100 cedis. I'm going to give my 100 cedis. Everybody that we will approach, those who are willing, really those who are willing are the people making the money available for the construction. I think we should all just keep calm and not be disturbed. Don't let's be disturbed. Parliament has every right not to accept what a budget brings. In fact, after the budget has been brought, every ministry has to go and speak to the specific committee in Parliament so that what they have budgeted for will be approved. So that is exactly what happened. So we went through our ministry and ours didn't get accepted.
Ghanaians may pay less for fuel first week in January as Goldman Sachs slashed its oil price forecast for 2023, saying it sees a market surplus early next year. Now, the Wall Street Bank cut its Brent oil forecast for the first and second quarter of 2023 to $90 and $95 a barrel from $115 and $105 per barrel respectively. Now, how will this prediction affect Ghana? Speaking on JoyNews desk, Executive Director of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amwa, said Ghanaians may pay 10.6 Ghana cedis per litre for the fuel.
The OPEC bloc is also forecasting that in 2023 you are likely to see a surge in demand. And what demand numbers increasing would mean to pricing would simply be to see prices go up a bit. So it's quite a mixed bag as of today. But if you are a Ghanaian, the most immediate announcement that we can put exclusively here is that it's likely you are going to pay a bit less for fuel the first week of January, which is the first window for pricing in Ghana. What we see with international market price development, and then again, the forex, the cedi's relatively stable to good performance, it's quite certain that you are going to see averages for petrol around 10.6, while diesel is likely to trade averaging around 13 Ghana cedi per litre in the first week of January. And this probably would be because of international market price movement, which, like I indicated, are seeing crude drop to about $84 per barrel region as we speak, while the price for finished product, if you go to the platform, have also seen some sharp declines. If you put them together, it's likely going to be about 10 to 12% further cut in the current pump price levels for most Ghanaians. And that for us is a good news. 2023 forecast it's quite mixed, but the good thing is that if you are in Ghana now, just like your counterparts in the United States, where their Energy International Administration, they are going to likely see their pump prices also decline from the $3.91 a liter, a gallon, to about 3.5, and that for them is good. And I'm certain that for Ghanaians as well, the most immediate impact that we are likely to have will be to see pump prices decline further within the next few days, like I indicated.
Away from that, Executive Director, Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare, has suggested government channels teacher training allowance funds into the Student Loan Trust Fund. Now, this proposition comes as government threatens to withhold feeding grants and teacher training allowances to colleges of education across the country if they admit students beyond the quota set for them. Now, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, in a letter addressed to principals of colleges of education, directed the schools to admit a defined number of students for the 2022-23 academic year. Kofi Asare says the quota given to schools is not because colleges are choked.
I think this was expected. It wasn't possible for government to sustain the payment of teacher training allowances. As it wasn't possible in the past, so shall it be today and in the future. We indicated to government that spending 240 million in feeding adult learners who are tertiary students was wasteful expenditure. The government went ahead, and then now we are seeing government struggling to finance the payment of the allowance. Let me indicate that the statement that the Teacher Training Association has released is just a political response, to a serious educational issue. I don't think they want Ghanaians to believe that the quota was imposed because colleges of education were choked. I mean, it's very, very laughable to assume that one would expect Ghanaians to believe that the quotas have been imposed because the schools are choked. That is not the reason. Government has never admitted that any college of education is choked. And I believe that the principals of the colleges, in their wisdom, will never admit students when the schools are choked. So that is not the case. The case is that the cutoffs have been imposed because government can only pay a certain amount of money as training allowance. And that is part of what we are going through under the IMF program. The net hiring freeze policy that has been imposed in the public sector is not only a freeze on employment, but it also requires that you cut on your compensation budget line. And the teacher training allowance is a major compensation budget line in the education sector. So it is not surprising that government is unable to increase that amount, and for that matter has to reduce intake by 30% into College of Education for 2013. Channel the 240 million Ghana cedis a year, which has proven inadequate to finance the allowance and feeding scheme, into the student loan scheme. Government has introduced a guarantee-free student loan scheme, which requires that once one holds a national ID, they can qualify to benefit from student loan. So, but the student loan trust fund is underfunded. This year, government allocated only 3 million in the budget. We know there may be other sources coming on later. But the fact is that it is underfunded. That is why student loan keeps delaying.
Aggrieved customers of the defunct gold dealership firm Men's Gold say they are stepping up their demand for the payment of their locked-up funds 4 years since the scandal. They are unhappy about government's handling of the problem, citing the slow pace at which the chief executive of the company, Nana Appiah-Mensah, popularly known as Nam1, is being prosecuted. First, though, here are some excerpts of a report put together by Joseph Akable of our research desk on the plight of the customers.
39-year-old Stephen Abuaje is now suicidal. His suffering is the result of bad investment. He put all of his eggs in the Men's Gold basket in the hopes of making a fortune, but everything went wrong. His life went from optimism to frustration to current despair. In this edition of Total Recall, I engaged 3 persons including Stephen, whose lives have been forever altered by a desire to invest in a gold dealership. Men's Gold was an investment that was too good to be true. Investors were assured of 7 to 10% monthly returns of investments. So people invested with their life saving and even secured loans and invested in the Men's Gold business. Investors were ready and willing to defend their investment company, but they later changed into protesters desperate for their money. In July 2019, state prosecutors filed charges including defrauding by false pretenses against CEO of the defunct company, Nana Pia Mensah, aka Nam1. This was after he had returned from the United Arab Emirates, where he had been in custody for months.
To assist us make full recovery of the amount owed Men's Gold by Horizon Royal Diamond in Dubai. As an act of good faith, we are willing to engage the Attorney General's office on the best possible way for them to aid Men's Gold by employing international law and diplomatic relations to ensure we achieve this objective. 2. To unfreeze our companies and my personal bank account and asset for us to utilize these as vehicles to get productive in order to meet our liabilities, owed to our customers and some business associates in our bid to resolve our liabilities immediately.
Nearly 3 years on, monies invested by the thousands remain outstanding.
The government should help us so that we will get, even if they give us something small, we can even manage it to start life again. But for us, for not hear anything from the government, it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. So we plead the government that they should help us. Even if my money is there and then get something small, I know what maybe I can do with my money and then get regained back again. So that is our prayer, that he should help us. True, we apologize to him that he should help us. Insult here and there cannot help anything. They should try their best and then find us something for our life to be better again.
Well, when you are there sometimes and I mean you hear Men's Gold, or it just comes into your mind that, I mean, my money's gone. Like, do you, like, what's the feeling like?
That was the thing that I'm saying. I nearly killed myself that day. I nearly killed myself. Even the day I went to Men's Gold, I heard it on radio, but I could say it's not true. So I myself went to their head office at Jolu. So as somebody told me the thing, that hey, now one thing I just fell down, and then some of my friends put water on me before I get up. Nearly killed myself. It happens to where I stay. I told you already that it happened to where I stay. I nearly hung myself. I did it because my wife and the children came to saw me that I was dead, tied and rope to kill myself. Because that is my life. That is everything to me. I don't have anything. My family, there is nothing. So I'm the one that I struggle to help the family. And then this thing has happened. I don't have anybody. See, now my wife has turned to man. He goes down and then come back.
Spokesperson of the aggrieved customers, Fred Forson, has been sharing their concerns with Kojo Youngson on The Pulse.
This Christmas, we have a lot of requests. I wish that maybe in the new year, somebody listening to me would even ask that, do you have somebody, any of your customers in need? Like, I will give you like 10 people. What to eat? Some of them are widows. Some of them have been ejected from their very homes. There is this lady that the husband was a customer. He died. And the in-laws have asked her to vacate the house. So there are a lot of them. School reopens, I think, next week. There are those whose children are going for the senior secondary, the SHS, and the continuing ones. Even what to get to enable them go back to school is a problem. And so, Kojo, I don't know why, after all this, the consistent, persistent agitations on the streets, government doesn't seem to empathize and even really come to terms with us. Like we were saying of the principle, I don't see why they don't want to come to the aid of Men's Gold. because our story is not a bad one. I always say that they should be able to separate the sins of the leaders or the management of men's good from that of the customers. Because we thought we were doing a good investment, and this has happened. And to even make our story real, just before we came to, for the holidays, we saw what happened at Databank. So that one too, whose fault? So we must all understand that it can happen to anybody.
To other stories now. 11-year-old Lois Nayan struggles to pronounce her own name. She's unable to walk after recovering from injuries suffered when she was knocked down by a saloon vehicle driven by a medical doctor. Young Lois Nayan says going to school has now become a challenge due to her condition.
Young Loiselin was crossing the road at Malam Junction in Accra together with her parents and other siblings on the fateful day of 9th May 2022. They were returning home after going shopping in a nearby market. But her joy of shopping turned tragic when a sullen vehicle driven by a medical doctor knocked her down.
The accident occurred on the 9th May when they were coming from the market, and they were about crossing the road, and then two cars stopped for them. The third one didn't stop, and then knocked her very hard from one end to the other. So she was collected back. I'm using the word collected because they practically had to collect her and then bring her back, send her to the nearby hospital. They couldn't handle it. So she was sent straight the same day to 37 Military Hospital. Loiselin
is no longer able to attend school as she's unable to walk or speak after treatment. Philippia Sembi is her mother.
No one has ever asked how my child is coping after the accident. I cannot go anywhere because my daughter is unable to do anything. Reverend Cyril Crab donated his wheelchair to us, which I sometimes push her to play with her friends.
The family is devastated. It's struggling to take care of Loiselin and her other siblings.
I'm in serious pain. Her siblings have been worried about her situation. She sometimes wishes to also go to school with her siblings.
Their only help came from an NGO, Accident Victim Support Ghana, led by Reverend Cyril Crab.
We have to take it up, make sure that she recovers, get her medications. Doctors, nurses have patience on her to take care of her until she's fully fit, that the doctors think that, oh, she's okay now to go back home or to be discharged.
Before the accident, Loiselin had dreams of becoming a medical doctor. She's asking for help so she can get back to school to fulfill that dream.
I'm very sad because I cannot go to school. My daughter has changed completely because of the severe impact on her head due to the accident.
The Konfenoshi Teaching Hospital is recording increasing cases of childhood cancers at its pediatric oncology unit. Head of the unit, Dr. Vivian Pencil, reveals that there has been over 175 cases in 2022. She was speaking at an end-of-year party for the children suffering from childhood cancers.
4 cancers are said to constitute approximately 60% of all childhood cancers and are highly curable if detected early. These comprise acute lymphoblastic leukemia, Beckett lymphoma, retinoblastoma, and Wales tumor. Though Dr. Pencil was not sure of the causes that arise in cases, she believed increased awareness has been crucial. She therefore warned parents to take note of early warning signs.
And in terms of what we see, we have seen an increasing trend in the number of cases of cancers. At first, we were seeing like between 110 to 120 new cases every year. But for this year, we have over 175 new cases. That is more than 1.5 times the number of cases we usually see. That could be because we have been doing a lot of early warning sign training around. Or it could also be that the number of cases are also increasing. Okay. But I will also want to take this opportunity to talk about the early warning signs so that people out there can know what the early warning signs are and then be able to come to the hospital at the right time. So anytime that you have any persistent symptom, you need to bring the child to the hospital. And then any eye sign like a white eye or your child has a squint, you need to bring that child to the hospital. It could be a sign that the child might be having cancers. And then anytime that you have any swellings or lumps anywhere in the body, whether it's in the jaw, it's in the hands, in the extremities, in your abdomen, wherever there are any swellings or lumps, you need to bring that child to the hospital for us to see.
The National Health Insurance Scheme has begun covering these childhood cancers. The authority registered patients and their caregivers onto the scheme under the Project 1000 Kids. Chairman of the governing board, Dr. Ernest Kwaku, who is personally sponsoring 1000 Kids, urged the citizenry to get onto the scheme.
Yes, the story will not be complete if you bring the childhood cancer onto the insurance and then the children are not registered onto the insurance. Then there's a missing piece. Children don't pay premium, but at least they pay processing fee. So tapping into the great idea that was brought by my Ashanti regional team right behind me about Project 1000 Kids. I, as chairman said, I also take the burden of registering 1,000 children with cancer onto the scheme, so that now that the scheme is taking care of the 4 childhood cancer, they can benefit from it. So that's another joy that we have as scheme managers to try and get. Dr. Pinsey said that their mothers will also be taken care of. And indeed, the oncology staff that look after the children will also be taken care of. We encourage anybody else also to register with the scheme. The scheme may have challenges, but it's getting better and better.
Reporter for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
You're watching news today with me, Mapitso Sebidi. Still to come in the bulletin, we'll take you on a cruise on the Dodi Princess 2. You're welcome back. For years, residents of Commonwealth and Mensasaba halls in the University of Ghana have been at each other's throats in a communal feud that has led to the destruction of valuable university properties. For once, these two rivals are coming together to fight what they consider a common enemy as they go on a warpath with management, which has decided to strip male residents of these two halls of their residential statuses. There's more in the following report.
Some students of the University of Ghana's Mensasaba and Commonwealth halls are on a warpath with the school's management over a decision to revoke their residency in the school. Under a new program announced 2 weeks ago, the university's council said all continuing students in the two halls will lose their resident status starting in the next academic year, which begins on January the 14th. The idea is to quell the persistent violent clashes between students from the two halls of residence. The students planned to engage the media to voice out their grievance. The management of the university deployed security to stop the press conference from going ahead because they had not sought approval from the school's authorities.
You have the right to exercise. Are you saying that any student can just walk into the SRC building and start doing anything? Why can't we have a press conference? Why? Nobody is preventing you from having a press conference. Let's not further. People are here. Listen to me. Okay, please, you are in the University of Ghana. Yes. And the University of Ghana has rules. So you don't think that your own interest can override everything? No. You can contact the SRC president. So you call him for us. You need a confirmation. If you don't do that, you won't enter that place. I'm not entering. You're using the phone. You will not be there. Why? Please, let us talk to the one who...
The students went outside the campus to try and speak to the media. Here too, campus security halted all interviews. Subsequently, the news conference happened, but at a different location.
The university management, which fails to provide proper security for students, failed to have conclusive investigations, but has been quick to issue a wholesale sanction that affects all male continuing students in Men's Asaba Hall and Commonwealth Hall. The third riot, which by the reports of management lasted for almost 4 hours. Throughout this period of time, the university security were around, and a police patrol car was parked near the university guest house. Interestingly, we have confirmed that some top-level university management members were also near the guest house. And what did they do? Nothing. All these individuals and agencies could have dispersed and brought calm to this riot, but they did not act. They were very close, by an estimated 100 meters away, and watched on. This has made us believe that the university management had a grand scheme. They were overwhelmed by their incompetence and wanted an easy way out. So why not watch on, then use this opportunity to cripple the students' front and at the same time find a perceived solution to the accommodation problem. The Pro-VC for Academic and Student Affairs said on JoyNews that investigations into the riots has not been concluded, yet the university has unreservedly sanctioned innocent continuing male students. Natural justice has been sacrificed on the altar of convenience. When he was asked that, why should the actions of a few affect the majority, he further went on to say, in every security situation, people who are not involved will get affected. If it happens everywhere. And when there is war, innocent people get killed. It is a reality of life. Is this the kind of leadership fit to oversee the welfare and affairs of students? No. The Pro-VC must resign. Yes. The university management maliciously brought out this information a week to the beginning of Christmas and expect parents and students to find money to pay an accommodation at a place which now costs over 3,800 cedis, as compared to the about 1,000 cedis they would have paid in their original halls. Why burden parents and innocent students this way? Nonetheless, we say to University of Ghana management today that we will not remain resolute and we will not kowtow to such knee-jerk reactionary approach. Why does university management want to rid young level 100 of mentorship, senior coursemate advice, and the benefits that they enjoyed by having continuing students direct them when they were in the university? We would want to send a firm notice to university management that we will fight for our rights with all tools at our disposal. We will not stand and watch our future and that of other future generations jeopardized because you as management failed. We would have a legal battle, and we know and have capriciously crippled the JCR system in both halls, making it quite impossible to have leadership lead a charge. We tell them today that we have seen it, but it's impossible. But impossible is nothing. We shall push through and find leaders amongst us. From the ashes, the phoenix rises. To our fellow Vikings and Vandals, just like our national anthem says, and help us to resist the oppressor's rule.
Commonwealth and Men's Asaba Hall students have been fighting over the years, but this time around, they have set aside their differences and are fighting the university management together. Jesse Sewabuafo's report for JoyNews.
Dalakra is up next with business and later.
Hi, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. As part of his corporate social responsibility and in the spirit of the Yuletide, Alisa Hotel has donated to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital to show love for their inmates. Speaking to Joy Business, the group sales and marketing manager, Esperanza Ejay, said it was appropriate to extend assistance to people in need during the festive season. There's more in this report.
Alisa Hotel, one of the indigenous hospitality firms in the country, has taken up an initiative to support some deprived health facilities during the Yuletide. This as part of its corporate social responsibility in the form of giving back to society during the Christmas season. Group Sales Marketing Manager for the Alisa Hotels, Esperanza Ej, has been explaining after donating towels, drinks, water, and an amount of 10,000 Ghana cedis to the hospital.
It's part of our Christmas activities and in line with our corporate social responsibility, we decided to undertake this project of donation to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, mainly because it's a time of giving. And this year, the hotel's theme for the Christmas is a season of giving, Thanksgiving. So we decided it's appropriate to extend that arm of assistance to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital.
The specialist psychiatrist, Na Adole Boche, has expressed gratitude to Alisa Hotel for caring for the patients and also sharing their love to them.
The management and staff, patients of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, we are very grateful to Alisa Hotel for thinking about us and taking the step to come and make this donation to the hospital.
She has also encouraged people to help adopt a patient and put a smile on their faces.
Can you imagine feeding your own household for a day? How much does it cost to feed 200 inpatients? So we encourage the general public this Christmas, put a smile on a patient's face. Adopt a patient here, put a smile on their faces.
The Accra Psychiatric Hospital used the occasion to seek for some support from the business community to raise the standard of living at the center.
Now, IT and home appliance retail outlet CompuGhana Limited has assured of more quality products and promotions in the coming year. The assurance comes after holding its raffle draw for the cashback shop and save promotion. Marketing manager for CompuGhana, Retanyako, tells Joy Business customers will continue to enjoy discounts and gifts till the end of the year. Tema correspondent Kwame Anka has more.
CompuGhana's cashback shop and save promotion, which started in October, aimed to reward customers with Suzuki Auto 800 at the ultimate prize. A raffle draw held at Spintex here in Accra and supervised by National Lottery Authority under the Caritas Lottery platform saw hundreds of entries aiming for the ultimate prize. Over 20 lucky winners were to pick up consolation prizes including television set and PlayStation 5. Ultimate winner Abdul Razak, who bought from the West Hills Mall branch, would walk home with a brand new Suzuki Auto 800 car. Marketing manager for CompuGhana Limited, Retanyako, says the company will continue to offer quality IT products and appliances to customers.
The last 3 months of the year, we have our cashback promotion, but this time we decided to make it big. So we decided to give out a car, a brand new Suzuki Auto 800. It's big. And we decided to give a 70-inch TV, PS5, and many other consolation prizes. And hey, we did it. We have a winner for the car. We are congratulating all our winners and our winner for the ultimate prize, the car. In fact, we were all excited. I don't know. I mean, having the feeling that somebody is going to be called, and then that moment when you call the winner, Charlie, he won. He bought from our West Hills Mall branch. So it's amazing. But however, I wouldn't say sorry to those who didn't win, but then I will encourage them to continue shopping with us and so that they can have more opportunities next time. This wouldn't be the last time we are going to do this. Hopefully next year we have other plans coming up. So they should stay tuned. I mean, keep shopping with us. You don't know when your luck is going to shine.
Meanwhile, Retanyako added that the promotion is running till end of the year despite having held the draw. Items purchased from any CompuGhana shop could attract up to 60% discount aside other gifts.
We are, Ghana's #1 premium brand. I mean, if you look at this showroom, where else in Ghana would you find a showroom like this? A very wide showroom with wide range of products from HP, Samsung, LG, Lenovo, what have you, Sony, Nokia, Huawei, Techno, Infinix. We cover every brand in the IT space. And we sell durable products. We sell products with warranty. So we don't just sell to the customer, but then you buy from us, we give you after-sale service. Not every tech company has that feature. Do you understand? So we give people premium products at good prices. We run promotions all through year, discounts all through year. Premium products, good discount, after sales service. Of course, anybody would choose CompuGhana.
This was the atmosphere when the ultimate winner, Abdul Razak, was called over the phone.
So they can make the noise with me.
Compu Ghana says it is working throughout the holidays.
And that's it for this segment. Do stay tuned. More news after this break.
Dodi World is Ghana's first destination experience, offering a unique package of adventure, entertainment, history and education on the beautiful banks of Volta River in Akosombo, providing a fantastic view of the lake, dam and adjoining mountain slope. Bernice and I went on a cruise on the Dodi Princess 2 to Dodi Island, an 84-hectare island located 5 kilometers off the shore of Lake Volta.
Welcome to Dodi World. Go through the registration process and then onto the boat.
After registration, we received a security briefing, went through security checks, and on board we went. Guests were treated to live band music. Once on board, you see the Akosombo Dam and the Tema Akosombo Rail project, which was ongoing during our trip. We arrived on the island after 2.5 hours of cruising.
Okay. We're here! Welcome to Dodi Island! Mom, you have to do it like this.
Residents welcomed us to Great Bobobo. Maps and I tried dancing along, but Maps couldn't keep up when we had to bend down really low.
We are just waiting for our turn in the queue. What do you call this?
Pedal boat.
Pedal boat.
Yeah.
So I won't use the pedal.
Yeah.
You do it alone.
You know what?
Because I believe in the power of your legs.
I believe in my personal trainer.
You're taking us there, right?
It's very tiring.
You're doing all the hard work.
And as a princess, I'm not supposed to be doing all this hard work.
And in our earlier briefing, we said we were to expect 3 activities here. That is the pedal boat, the water sports activities that you just did, and then the horse riding, camel riding, and then the hiking. That's another route to the place. So some of the guests will use it and to come here. So these are the 3 activities to expect here. We are still improving. Currently, this is what we have.
And what you forgot to mention is that all of these 3 activities are inclusive.
Into the cost.
So after 40 minutes on the island, it was time to go home. The cruise back was relaxing. We were treated to more live band music, a movie, great food, free Wi-Fi, board games, and PS4 for the football lovers. That was to signal our arrival in Akosombo. We interacted with some tourists.
My highlight was the band.
It's a good experience. I encourage everybody to go to the Dodi island and experience what we experienced. Ghana can be one of the biggest tourist destinations in West Africa. There is a potential, but we need to unlock the challenges which we are having.
Ga goed, dank je.
Okay, the cruise, how was it?
The boat cruise is nice. The people are friendly. The food is good.
I love everything. I love the animals.
The experience doesn't end without picking a souvenir from Nana Sewe's stand. She's got different varieties of beads, wall hangings, artifacts, and musical instruments.
You call it Koshka. And we have xylophone.
Okay.
You see, this one is from the northern part. So when you come to Dodi World, you can get so many things, especially those coming from outside to spend the Christmas. So everybody is welcome. Dodi World, you can have fun, you drink, you eat, you dance. So everybody should come at least to come and have fun. We have only one life to live, so you have to enjoy yourself.
It was an exciting experience for us and we'll have to do it all over again. Mapitso, Sebidi and Bernice Abubedu Lansa for JoyNews.
Musician Miss V was emotional after taking a tour of Fort Prinsenstein, located in hometown Keta in the Volta region of Ghana. The fort is the last of 32 to end slave trade during the period of colonialism. Well, the musician decided to make a trip there to see for herself how her forefathers were traded as slaves and then shipped to Europe and the Caribbean to work on cotton and sugar plantations. We'll hear from her shortly. First, let's take you into that fort. Ko Jansen was there for Explore a few months ago.
I don't have a good impression of this place. It doesn't feel great walking through this place. I can't imagine what our forefathers went through. This being the last place.
Under the care of the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board, Fort Prinsenstein, or what is left of it, receives daily visitors from around the world. But there is something unique about the role this particular fort played in Ghana's sordid slavery story. Therefore, our colleague knows all about it.
Over here, this is where some of the slaves were chained. You see the very gutter, this one, which has been filled with sand. Yeah. They will pour the water into this, and the slaves will be in leaking from the gutter. Because they fear that when they open to give them food or water, they attack them. And when the slaves were about to be taken away, they starved the slaves for 2 days. Wow. So they become weak. And they lead them through the tunnel to the gate of no return. From there they were taken away. So some of them were chained over here. So we are going into the dungeon, the main dungeon, where our great-grandfathers were kept before being transported. So this one over here, they secure the slave by 2. They will chain one right leg to another left leg. Like both of our legs will be chained to this.
I see. So your right leg to my left.
Exactly. So they use their fingers to scratch both the wall and the floor. They wanted to dig into the building and escape from them.
So this was done by human fingers?
Yeah, fingers.
Concrete?
Yes. And those are the chains you can see over there. They used to chain their neck, their leg in those days. And also they realized that some of our forefathers, people from Togo, they have powers. They lean on the wall, they will just incastate some words and vanish. So they put mercury in between the walls.
And that stops them from doing that?
Exactly. That was the antidote at that time. So those who attempted got stuck. That's why when the sea was destroying the fort, you can see human remains in the wall of the fort.
Well, Miss V was there for Christmas and is saddened by what she saw. Her visit was at the invitation of the Reddington Chalet, a tourism development firm located in the cultural town of Huti in the Volta region, seeking to market the region's tourism potential. Miss V shares her experience touring the region.
I don't have a good impression of this place. It doesn't feel great walking through this place. I can't imagine what our forefathers went through. This being the last place they were before they were shipped off this coast. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's a bit emotional. Some of the stories we've heard, even this dungeon, there was one that we saw right here, very small, that held about 20, 30 people, and they have this small light source. That was about it for all those people in there. Some of them who were chained, we saw blood stains on the walls, and not a good feeling at all. This should be a place that should be like memorialized. We shouldn't have bars and pubs here. There was great pain felt here. You can't be happy around here. This place should have slabs with people's names who have passed through here, and some of the history actually written, so that people come and know the ancestry and some of the things that really happened here.
And that's how we end Joy News today. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Mapitso Sebidi. The marketplace is up next.